Hey church, I want to talk to you about having a biblical worldview. A worldview is simply how you see the world and how you think and believe that it works. Now the reason why that's important is because ultimately it decides the things that we value and even what we do and our behavior in life. There are a lot of worldviews out there. For example, there are some wrong worldviews that even believers will sometimes hold to, like materialism. The idea of materialism is that we want to gain everything we can get. We want to get rich. We want to own stuff. We want to gather stuff. The problem with that, though, is in Matthew chapter 6, verses 19 through 24, Jesus said, look, don't lay up for yourselves treasures on earth where moth and rust destroy and where thieves break in and steal, but lay them up in heaven. And so that's a wrong worldview. Then there's meism. Meism says, you know what, I got to love me first. And I need to care about me and put me first. And as long as I'm okay, then I'm capable of ministering to other people. Well, biblically, that's not true. Philippians chapter 2, verses 1 through 5 talk about the fact that I'm not to put my interests before the interests of others. Then there's the whole issue of hedonism. Hey, if it feels good, do it. Or the issue of pluralism. Hey, what's right for you is for you, and what's right for me, it could be completely different. You do you. Well, that's not the case biblically. The Bible talks about the fact that God has given us a way to live our lives. That's what we follow as Christians. We live out the truths of the epistles. Then there's naturalism. Naturalism basically says God doesn't exist. The only thing that really matters is the biology, which is kind of sad, actually. Then beyond naturalism is the whole issue of humanism, that you really are your own God. The truth is none of those things are biblical in any sense at all. A proper biblical worldview really comes down to how we answer 4 simple questions. Where did I come from? Why am I here? What's going on? And is there any hope for the future? Let's look at the first one. Where did I come from? Well, biblically, the Bible tells us that in Genesis chapter 1, verse 27, that we're created in the image of God. And we believe that. We believe that God created all life, and because that, He has authority over all life then being sacred. Beyond that, then, why am I here? You always hear so many people will talk about the fact, I just need to find myself and figure out, why I really exist as a person. Well, the Bible actually tells us in Ephesians chapter 2, verse 10, that God created us as His workmanship. He created us for a purpose in life, that we're called to be servants. I'm 100% convinced that their purpose on life, your purpose on being on this earth, has nothing to do with your own happiness. You'll find fulfillment, though, when you become who God wants you to be, when you become a servant. The third question is, why is there so much evil in the world? It just seems like there's bad things that happen and people that do bad things. Well, the truth is the Bible tells us that not only do we live in a broken world, but we live in the midst of broken people. In Romans chapter 3, verse 23, it tells us that all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. That means that the human DNA has got sin in it. It's broken. It's going to do things that are wrong. Besides that, the last question there, is there any hope for the future? Absolutely. Romans chapter 5, verses 1 and 2 talk about the fact that we're justified by faith, and that gives us peace with God. The cool thing is when you get to the very end of the Bible, in Revelation chapter 21, it talks about the fact that there's going to be a new heaven and a new earth, and our King is going to sit on the throne, and we'll be there with Him. We're going to be fine. We're going to be okay. A biblical worldview means you believe that God created you, that He has a purpose for your life, that even though this world is broken, that God is in the redeeming business. He redeems us. He can redeem this world. We need to trust in Him, and everything's going to be good. God bless you. I hope this helps as you think through who God has made you to be. See you.